very early in the season, my friend, and if a month from now they have a similar record, I'll be very surprised. The same goes for many teams in the league.
Yeah, there's one team that used to be good, now it's going downhill. It's Baltimore.
Well, they've started out poorly, yes, but as I say, it's very early in the season. In baseball scores today, the Pirates beat the Expos 3-0. The Cardinals beat the Mets 7-3. The White Sox over the Red Sox 7-3. Toronto won another game 7-6 over Detroit. And at the end of 8 innings, the Oakland Athletics, who were also surprising, are ahead of California 6-3.
Toronto team sounds like a good one.
Well, they're starting off very good.
Yep.
The thing that I suspected about California is that after you get by Tanana and Ryan, they don't really have such very good starting pitchers. Seems to be holding true because all their wins so far have been hung up by those two guys.
Yeah. On that one game, I think, if the Yankees playing the Royals, I think it was Monday Night Baseball.
Right.
They said Patrick Hunter went in there. I think it said it was him with a ball hit him in the foot.
He what?
I think, I think they said in the beginning that Patrick Hunter wasn't in there because he was, I don't know, I think they said he got hit in the foot with a ball, baseball.
Yeah, well, he is, if indeed he is injured, it's very slightly, and I don't think he's going to miss many turns, if any. He pitched the opening game of the season and won.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Okay, bye-bye. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Red Sox are going downhill fast.
Well, if you go by this far in the season, really, it doesn't mean a lot. Granted, all the games mean a lot, but if you think that this is the way it's going to be all year, why, take heart, because it won't be.
Yeah, but they may not be able to make up them games if the first place team wins the next 23 out of 28 games or something like that.
Well, let me put it this way. The team that is supposed to be way out ahead about now, the Yankees are not indeed. Now, of course, they will get better too. But teams are on top in that division that do not figure to be there, like Toronto and Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, in actuality, if the Yankees were 4-0 and the Red Sox were 0-4, why, that would be very significant.
Yeah.
But it's not, nothing is significant yet. When we get to the 15th of May, I think you'll see considerable shake-up in the standings in some of the divisions.
You think the Red Sox will move on?
Oh, yeah.
And two more things I got to say. Here come the Celtics.
Right.
They're coming on.
Right.
Last night, Ty Scott scored 7 straight points, and they out-rebounded San Antonio 60-something or 30.
Right. Yes, they'll beat San Antonio.
Yeah. Did you mention the thing about Spurrier?
Not yet. I haven't had a chance.
How do you think Huff will do?
Well, all right, let me make the announcement on the air now that Gary Huff is signed with Tampa Bay and Spurrier was let go.
How do you think it'll turn out that way?
Well, I don't think that quarterback is their big problem. I really don't. I don't think that until they get a good offensive line, any quarterback, I don't think Fran Tarkenton could look good with him. I don't think Stabler would look good with him. I don't think Burt Jones would look good with him.
I'll tell you one thing. The way they did it now, it really comes out dumb because they let go Bruce Delia and that Willie McGee, the wide receiver, San Francisco, and a draft pick for Spurrier, and now they let him go.
Yeah.
They sort of blew it on that.
Came out with nothing, right.
And now, I don't know about Gary Huff.
Well, he's been a backup quarterback, and he is reputedly a good passer, and he didn't really have a big chance at Chicago. First he was behind Douglas, and then he was behind Avellini.
I know he's only 26, so that's in their favor.
Not even that. He got out of school when he was 21, so he's only 25.
So he's got a long way to go. They can build around him.
That's right. That's what they had in mind. Okay, gotta move.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, Craig. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Okay, Ken.
I hope Philadelphia wins this year.
Yeah, they'll win a game. Maybe the Red Sox will win a game.
Isn't that so? Well, we don't have a whole lot to cheer about still, do we?
No, but
yeah, I know.
I really, we go through this almost every year.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not worried about it because, you know, like last year, you know, the Reds were 7 behind the Dodgers, you know, in May, so.
That's right.
You know, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to pick up the Flyers game tonight?
Yep.
Where do you listen? What channel you listen to that?
On 1210.
What kind of, is it pretty good?
Yeah, it depends on how you got your radio turned.
Really?
Yeah, and I get it in my front yard in my car, facing a southerly direction. I get it in perfectly, like a local station. If I turn the car the slightest bit, I lose it.
You have to go out and sit in the car?
Usually, yeah. Very seldom, except that there is proper climatic conditions between here and Philadelphia, which I can get in my house.
Yeah. You don't have any relatives named David, do you? David Stanford?
I saw that thing in the paper. I have a brother by that name, but it's not the same one.
Oh, I just wondered. I saw that in that fishing.
From Lake City, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, on Bernie's prediction of 115 games for the Yankees to win,
Right.
you know, they can only lose 44 more.
That's true.
You know, it's
Getting tough, right.
I should have jumped. I should have gotten you to jump on that bet, but just kidding. It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We have a good time teasing each other. I'm like that. He gets to take me to lunch. I want to take him to lunch one of these days.
There you go.
It's a lot of fun.
It sure is.
Buddy, you take care of yourself. Hey, how'd you bowl last night?
I was in the hospital. I didn't bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, I had my yearly.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay, I wondered where you were. I thought maybe you had a family function or something.
No.
Okay, I'll call you later in the week.
Okay, Ken.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. DBO Sports Line, good evening.
Bill,
Yeah.
do you know who's playing in the NBA tonight?
Yeah, there's just one game, Cleveland at Washington.
Who?
Cleveland at Washington. See, they didn't play last night. The other 6 teams played and they didn't play.
Do you know any games that'll be televised?
Not tonight, but there's one scheduled for Friday, but I don't know which one it's going to be. There will be a game. There's a game scheduled to be telecast on Friday night. Playoff game, and then, of course, playoff games on Sunday.
Were there any games last night?
Not on television, not to my knowledge.
Okay, were they?
Were there any games?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Boston beat San Antonio at Boston, Portland beat Chicago, and Detroit beat Golden State.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, bye-bye. DBO Sports Line, good evening.
Yeah, I know the Reds, but the Reds lose 4 in a row in the middle of the season sometimes anyway.
Yeah.
So often as much. But did you ever see the game Braves had last night?
No, what's happened in the game?
Well, they lost, but
what are the details?
Well, in the first inning, Mr. Smith hit one person, about this one, I don't forget his name, lost another one, and I think the other, and the third one got a base hit. Bases loaded. Mr. Smith steps up the next, and that drives in 2 runs.
Right.
Then he picks up the next batter. Right there, if he wouldn't make a mistake and maybe the ball went one side and the other side, we could have been out of it, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they get 6 runs out of it. That's the bases and dead. In that 5th inning, Martinez tries to run with the bases loaded. Then Burroughs gets up the bat, and they go and slam. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
That was one.
Well, that last night they got the hitting but not the pitching, right?
Well, neither team got the pitching.
No, I know.
You would think that for those 2 pitchers, it'd be 3-2 or 1-0.
Yeah. Well, early in the season when the pitchers are behind the batters, you get a lot of scores like that.
Those got 3 more runs in the 6th inning. Well, the Dodgers had 6 runs in the 5th.
Yeah.
And Kaplan made his debut in the first comebacker last night, and he ended up giving up 3 runs.
No. Maybe he's not in shape yet.
3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. You want to take pitches out of bounds?
Well, that adds up to about 45 or so.
That's about 30 somewhere.
36, something like that, or 34, somewhere around there. Well, it doesn't stay like that. You pitch 2 scoreless innings, and the next thing you know, why, your ERA is 9 or 10. Pitch 2 more scoreless innings, and the next thing you know, it's about 6.
Do you think Mike Marshall's with us?
I'm afraid that Mike doesn't have it anymore. I may be wrong, but I'm really fear that he doesn't.
Every time he pitches, somehow I feel something's going to happen. Like I was listening to the game, Mike Mussel's coming in, and he almost lost the game. He allowed 4 runs.
Yes.
But when he batted, one key thing he did save the game for the Braves and the Corey, and that was when the Braves had got first base, he just went out and he got up third. There was a hit ball to the second baseman. Garland. Who played second?
For
the Dodgers.
Lopes.
Okay, Lopes had the ball and was going to tag Marshall, but he started running back to first base. And so Lopes scored to first base, and Martinez scored. I think it was Martinez. Martinez and Matthews scored to third base before the double play was completed because it wasn't a second to first double play.
Yeah. Okay. With Theo, buddy, gotta move.
Okay, bye.
WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Okay.
You know that Golden State Detroit series?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how many games did they do?
I think they are just 3. I'm not sure. I really... No, they're not 3. Let me see. They're, I believe, best of...
Best of 5?
No, they're best of 3. Yeah, they are best of 3, right.
Do you know anything about Marvin Barnes? What happened to him?
He got hurt. That's right.
Broken hand?
I don't know whether it was broken or not, but I know he was pretty badly injured. I think it was a broken hand, yeah.
Yeah, they probably won't miss him.
No, but that doesn't help.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you read the paper this morning about Reggie Hair?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Think he played more?
Well, I think it's unbelievable that he didn't.
That's right.
It's fantastic that he didn't because of the honors. He obviously is a fabulous player.
He is a cool player.
Yes.
He's a cool player.
That I don't understand.
When you get in that All-Star games, it's really the people that have been named all over. His name choose the South.
That's right.
But there's guys like Albert King, they're named all over the nation.
Yeah, that's right.
And you gotta have the big names all over the country.
Yeah, that's true. It's there were some pretty super terrific ball players in that game, guys who are going to have an awful lot of colleges looking for them.
Yeah, that's right. Well, hey, when Haney goes up to Florida, do you think he'll be starting?
I don't know whether he'll start as a freshman, but I have a feeling he will. And I'm sure that he will be starting as a sophomore, probably as a freshman, yes.
Because aren't they going to lose Brewster this year?
You know what?
Are they going to lose Mary Brewster?
I don't know whether he graduates or not.
I think Reggie Hanna could beat him out because I went up there and I saw him play against Auburn.
Yeah.
And Brewster didn't impress me at all.
Yeah. Well, Reggie Hanna will be a super college player, there's no doubt.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, gotta move.
Yeah, okay, thanks a lot.
Bye. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hello, Bill.
Hey.
Did you get a clean bill of health?
I don't know everything yet, but I'm out, so that means something.
I'll tell you to go pick up your fast buck referee in for the playoffs in the NBA.
You what?
I was going to tell you to pick up your fast buck and referee for the playoffs in the NBA.
I'm not in quite that good a shape.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think that the high salaries in professional sports are related into the way that, professional sports seasons are leveling out, in particular basketball, run from October to June now?
Of course they are. This is why any professional sport is reluctant to cut its schedule. I still think that my idea of scheduling more baseball doubleheaders is a sound one that would not lose as much revenue and yet would preclude the bad weather situation.
Right.
In basketball, weather is no factor except in severe snowstorms.
Right.
But I still think it's a good idea because I think that you could schedule 8 extra doubleheaders, get your season compressed together, and not lose as much revenue as cutting out 8 games. Let's say if you got a good attraction, say Tom Seaver's coming against the Pirates or the Dodgers, the Phils, somebody like that, or the Reds. All right, and in that one game you would get maybe 40,000, whereas let's say that a lesser pitcher is going on the next day against a lesser pitcher for the Reds, and you would get maybe 20,000.
All right.
Now, if you had the doubleheader, the people would turn out. Maybe you get maybe 50,000 to see 10,000 of them because of the doubleheader, and the other 40 you came to see Seaver.
Right.
And I think that your losses would be less. And when you get into a situation of playing this late in the season, frequently there are games among the lower clubs that are lost forever because they're not factors in the playoff.
Right.
And the bad weather, they just won't replay the game, so they lose 1 or 2 games anyway.
Right.
And I think that something could be done about it, and I think it ought to end, if possible, the 25th of September.
Right, because you know basketball keeps expanding. It's going to be a year-round sport.
Oh, laws. June, what did it say, June 18th?
Yeah, somewhere on that the last
Oh, I know, this is unbelievable. When they go back, then again, the final teams in the playoff, of course, it's unthinkable that all the playoff games will go the full route.
Right.
But so let's say even June the 6th or 7th, being very generous with our prediction of the conclusion of the playoffs. Okay, you got that. And then there's July and August off, and would you believe that the first week in September those guys are back in camp? That's about a 10-month year.
Right.
And that's really rough on a sport that is a very, very demanding sport as far as endurance is concerned.
I was just wondering where the ticket prices stop, because in the end the fans weren't going to pay the price.
That's right.
Some of the games not worth the price they charge. For a good game, it's worth a good price.
Yeah, unfortunately they can't change the prices for attractions.
Right.
Okay,
Bill.
Good.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. WDBO Sports on Time, 7:24. Well, if a customer comes in and it grabs you, a good waitress, a professional waitress, a Denny's waitress, you can always pick that person up and put them enjoy a good meal. The Oakland Athletics bombed the Angels by a score of 9-3 today, and Pablo Torrealba came in the 6th inning and shut out the Angels the rest of the way, while the Athletics, who had already caught up in the 5th inning, went on to win 9-3. So, very surprising, Mr. Finley's Athletics at this point. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
This is Jim. Congratulations on being back. I hope they found everything where it's supposed to be.
Well, I'll know tomorrow. Right.
Hey, I wanted to give you a report on the Seminoles trip off to Hawaii. They finished second in that tournament with a 5-2 record. Hawaii won it 6-1.
Yeah.
To get an idea what kind of a setup it was, there's 6 of the 9 All-Stars who were in Hawaii.
Yeah, that figures.
But they're rated 7th or 8th in the country.
So they do really have a good ball team.
Yeah. And
That's good.
SC was out there, and we managed to split with both teams. The SC finished with a 4-3 record.
Yes.
And they had Nevada, Las Vegas, and Kearney out there. So it was a 16 tournament. It was we're lucky with all the sights that boys had to see out there.
Oh yeah, that's a nice trip.
Yeah, they won last night. So we're sitting at 23-7 right now.
Well, what do you think about one of your old boys?
Gary?
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be better off.
Yeah.
Whether they'll do any better or not, I don't think any quarterback's going to do any good there until they get somebody who can knock somebody down.
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't think Burt Jones or Kenny Stabler would look
I don't think the quarterback's the answer. They got to get some big defensive studs up there first.
Some offensive, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or offensive studs,
yeah. Right.
Once they do that, there's a lot of quarterbacks will fill the bill.
That's true.
Hey, have you heard anything on the wire? Today was National Signing Day for basketball.
Yeah, there's nothing on the Florida wire. I looked at it when I came in at 20 out.
All these good ball players, because everybody's trying to get them, and I haven't seen Hugh Durham's name come up. He must have some out-of-state people or something.
Yeah, he must be. Of course, he traditionally gets out-of-state people.
Well, of course, he signed 6 freshmen last year. They all turned out to be pretty good, so he must not have too much room.
No, that's right. At that rate, he wouldn't do as much.
Might just go with 2 or 3 ball players.
Yeah.
But I don't know what limit there is on basketball.
Right.
But anyway, sports are going good up there, and tomorrow they're breaking ground for the Civic Center up there.
Well, that's wonderful news.
For the basketball court.
That is wonderful news.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, Jim, good to talk to you.
The football picture's looking pretty good, too.
Yeah, I think so. They're on the way back.
I talked to Mike Brewer last night. Did you listen to the program?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was already I had a few tests and stuff.
Yeah, Jimmy Jordan was 14 out of 18 for about 6 touchdowns.
Well, oh boy. He's going to be some passer, there's no doubt about it.
He's running Schumann on one side, Lindblom on the other.
Yeah, he's really, you're looking there at probably one of the finest passing attacks in the country, if not the best.
Yeah.
Really. Okay, Jim, good to talk to you.
Take care, and I hope everything works out all right for you.
Thank you, old buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye. DBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hello, Bill.
Hey.
Hi, this is George. Well, I see our Yankees are off to a terrific start. Philadelphia is doing great.
Yeah.
I just called you to tell you I've been following this kid here from Oakland. The kid you said you thought may do something this year, Gross.
Yeah.
And I see he's off to a terrific start. And there's another young kid. Maybe you'd watch him a few times here in the papers. Kent of Detroit. He's a left fielder.
Yeah, he finally did something the other day.
Yeah, well, it's just, both of them are just youngsters up there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to follow them this year, see what they do.
That's right. And there's Mitchell Page had a home run for Oakland today. I'll tell you, with Charlie Finley, it's a very funny thing. I think that he's a very complex character. I think that he is an extremely shrewd judge of baseball players. I don't think his team will be away that long if he still has it. But when it comes to actual business, I think he's probably one of the stupidest businessmen that ever lived when it comes to baseball. To keep a team, insist on a team and staying in a city where he can't draw flies.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, and I know how he can be so shrewd and astute in some areas and so unbelievably stupid in others. I just can't think of another owner in the major leagues who would come up with a 3-time winner, draw nothing, and be satisfied and insist on staying when he has a chance to move it.
Well,
I'll never understand it.
Well, who knows? Maybe he's going to groom a few more superstar youngsters out of some of these kids here,
Yeah.
And they'll all leave them, too.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think about 3 years ago I called you and Tracy, and that's when Cleveland was having a heck of a time with Mike Fitz. He just couldn't seem to click with him, and now he's lost his job.
Right.
And Cleveland's got him up on the blocks, and I thought maybe Tampa would grab him.
Yeah.
Because he isn't quite that bad. I mean, he's
Well, there's a reason that he didn't go to Tampa, and that's because the Browns wanted their pick.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
And of course they were foolish to do that because they need all the picks they can get.
That's right.
That Monday night game, I heard him say something about Steinbrenner wanted to get rid of Ellis,
Yeah.
Wanted to trade him. He didn't look that bad to me, really.
Well, he really wasn't super. What he got? 4 runs?
Yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't like hell of Kansas City. He was super.
Yeah, that's right.
He was super. Well, okay, that's all I wanted to say. Anyhow, if you get a chance when you're going through the paper,
Right.
just keep looking at Grossman. Let's see what he does this year.
Okay, sure will.
Bye-bye, Bill.
All right, bye-bye. Now we're going to take a listen in here on Brent.
I'm Brent Musburger with Sports Time. Yesterday, after the St. Louis Cardinals were shut out by Tom Seaver and the New York Mets, Lou Brock said in the Cardinals locker room, no one on this team is going to get upset about that because this is a solid team this year. And today, the Cardinals came back and proved Brock right, at least this afternoon, as they pounded the Mets 7-3. The losing pitcher was Craig Swan. What did Brock do? Well, he had a triple to left center field. The Montreal Expos made 5 errors today. Pittsburgh Pirates capitalized and scored a 3-0 victory. But from Chuck Tanner's standpoint, the significant fact was his starting pitcher, Bruce Keeson, who pitched a 2-hitter and recorded the shutout. Richie Zisk, formerly of the Pirates, slammed his first American League home run, and the Chicago White Sox downed the Boston Red Sox 7-3. The story, though, is the Red Sox. They now are winless this season, 4th straight loss, their worst start since 2005 in 1966. Detroit shortstop Mark Wagner committed 3 errors, and the Tigers were beaten by Toronto 7-6, and rookie Doug Ault slammed his 3rd home run of the year for the Blue Jays. The Lee Maxi 2 oil filter packs more protection. You can lean on me. Here's a dirty word for you, bypass. That's what your car's oil filter does when it stops filtering. Single-stage filters bypass dirty oil right into your engine as they get dirty. When you start cold or step on the gas, we think it's a dirty trick. Lee Maxi 2 packs in a second stage, triggered by a second valve, so Maxi 2 keeps on filtering when the others quit. Maxi 2 traps more dirt than leading paper single-stage filters, even ours.
Been problem. Fielding is the area. Defensively, it's really not a very good team. Let me tell you something about Templeton at shortstop. He has great speed, but the guy probably was the worst fielding shortstop in baseball last year. If he improves, it will really help him. The guy is a horrendous shortstop, really. Now, this may hurt them. And Lou Brock, of course, for years has been one of the worst fielding outfielders in baseball. Now, we don't know if this will hurt them, but I say that they have a very good young team, and I think that even if they don't win it this year, that you've got to watch them in the immediate future, like next year, from next year on, because they have built a very good young team.
Well, this year they've only made 3 years, and 2 of those were like passengers.
Yeah, well, that's early in the season. You can't tell. Everything's early in the season. But I think that it is a coming team very definitely. There's no doubt about it that they can hit for average.
Right, and especially Hernandez has 3 home runs.
Yes, he may finally, after all these years, be putting it together. He's been up for 5 years now, and this may be... Last year, he really came on strong and closed very fast and looked very good.
I think that the other spot, I think the top man is pitching. And I've heard a lot of people say that. But the pitching is bad now. That's because, like, Durker and DeCristo's out. And DeCristo has one of the best fastballs in the major leagues.
Yeah.
The reason why he didn't do good last year because he had a bones in his elbow.
Right, he walked 102 batters in 106 innings. That's what his problem was.
And Durker's out for about a month. When he comes back, that'll add
Yeah,
a lot.
they definitely could do it. There's no doubt about it. It's a very fast rising team. That's true.
Also, he brought his 2 home runs. I never thought he was a power hitter.
No.
But also, I think they have a lot of the big change. There's not really a big change in the Cardinals since last year, but the only change is in their backup. Like, they've got some of the best backup players now, like Tony Scott, the rookie or the second year man
Right.
from Denver.
Yeah.
He's something.
He was a good AAA player, right.
He's got everything that Major League outfielder needs. Like, we got speed, and I think he's got like 3 times pinch hitting. He's got 2 hits.
Right.
And let me see now. I think that Templeton now, that last year that he was that was his rookie year.
Right.
And I think he was pretty nervous. And this year...
Hey, we're going to have to move on. We got now almost 4 minutes on our call.
Oh, all right.
Okay, got to move. But that's true. That team's doing real well.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Hey, Bern.
Bill, some interesting facts, I think, that going into the baseball season I'd like to share with some of your listeners.
All right.
About some of the great ball players still playing. Pete Rose is second only to Brooks Robinson among active players in total hits. And should reach the 3,000 hit club probably within the first month of next year.
Right.
He won't do it this year.
What's he, that's
40 hits, and I got to get that.
Right.
But, the first month to 2 months next year, he should reach 3,000. Another thing that Rose has done, which is unbelievable, which is fantastic, which proves what a great player he is, if he appears in 10 straight games this year, he will appear in 500 consecutive games.
That's right.
Which is pretty darn good. Only about 23, 24 players in the history of baseball have done that.
That's true.
And Robinson now, Brooks Robinson, is the only player ever to play 23 seasons with one club without moving from one club to another.
That's incredible.
23 seasons this year. I assume he's already played this year. I don't know. But the first time he appears in a lineup, it'll be 23 consecutive seasons.
What did Cobb play, 22?
Well, there are 6 people that I see that played 22. Let's see, Ty Cobb, Cap Anson, Al Kaline, Stan Musial, and Mel Ott. Each played 22 seasons with the same club.
Yeah.
Now, last night, I don't know if you listened to your own show.
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
I was in the hospital.
But last night, we were discussing the prices of going to see some major sports. And I had said that baseball, you shouldn't really condemn baseball for the high prices that they're paying players. They're probably the lowest of all sports. And their ticket prices reflect that. Very quickly, I'd like to read what the Commissioner of Baseball's office put out on ticket prices this year.
Okay.
Baseball's price structure continues to be the lowest of any major team sport. The sport's highest price ticket, the box seat, can be purchased in the 26 Major League stadiums for an average of only 5% more than a year ago, which means the average box seat is $488. Reserve seats are available at an average of only $361, an increase of 10%. General admission at $207, and bleachers at $1.50.